Hello my viewers, Atomi and welcome to my YouTube channel Daily Express. Please do well to hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. Also, 3 decades after the annulment of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, Ibrahim Babangida, the retired army general and former military president, has finally told his side of the story. In his revealing memo, a journey in service launched in Abuja on Thursday and seen by the cable, Babangida said he was in Katsina when the annulment of the election won by MK Abiola of the Social Democratic Party SDP was announced by the press secretary of his second-in-command without his knowledge or permission. He said he later discovered that the forces against the June 12 election were led by Sani Abacha, his chief of defense staff, who later became military head of state. In the wake of the crisis, Babangida had stepped down as president in August 1993 and installed an interim government led by Ernest Shonekan, which Abacha would remove from power in November 1993. Abacha later clamped Abiola into detention for declaring himself president. Babangida, who did a national broadcast on June 24, 1993 to officially announce the annulment of the election, said Abacha had become a major force in a factionalized military and it was difficult to remove him when he stepped down from power. The journey to the June 12 annulment began 2 days before the D-Day, when a judge granted an injunction stopping the Electoral Commission from going ahead with the election. A group known as the Association to Better Nigeria (ABN), led by Arthur Nzeribe, had filed the lawsuits. Babangida admitted in the memo published by Bookcraft Limited that Nzeribe was close to him but denied supporting the activities of ABN. From out of nowhere on June 10, 2 days before the presidential election, the same shadow group, ABN, which had been campaigning for an extension of military rule, approached the Abuja High Court of Justice Basi Ekpeme for an injunction to stop NEC, National Electoral Commission, from conducting the elections. He said in his memo, "Unknown to me at the time, Justice Ekpeme, who was relatively young at the bench, had worked in the chambers of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Clement Akpagbo. Strangely, Justice Ekpeme, in the dead of night, in clear violation of Decree 13, which barred any court from interfering with NEC's conduct or scheduling of the elections, granted the ABN an injunction stopping NEC from conducting the June 12 elections. There was confusion everywhere." He said he quickly convened an emergency meeting of the National Defense and Security Council (NDSC), the country's highest governing body, to discuss the way forward. On Friday, June 11, as the NDSC meeting was going on, I learned that a Lagos High Court had ruled that NEC should go ahead with the elections. The NDSC meeting on Friday, June 11, only hours before the scheduled elections, was one of the stormiest meetings I ever conducted as president. Strangely, the Attorney General and Justice Minister Akpangbo, who was the nation's chief law officer and who ought to know that the Justice Ikpeme court order violated an extant law and was tacitly supported, it turned out by some of my topmost military officers advised that the elections be postponed in compliance with the Abuja court order. Professor Humphrey Nwosu, NEC chairman, insisted, to the dismay of my top military colleagues, that he had enough powers under the law to proceed with the elections. The argument went on for hours in a tense atmosphere, peopled by some who wanted the elections postponed. Among them, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Sani Abacha, Lieutenant General Joshua Dogoyaro, and a few service chiefs, but I had my views bottled inside me even before Professor Nwosu presented his compelling argument. I decided that the elections should proceed, backed firmly by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Salihu Ibrahim. Babangida said he looked across the room and said to Nwosu, "Go ahead with the elections, go to your office, hold a world press conference and tell everyone the elections will be held tomorrow as planned." He said on June 16, Nwosu suddenly stopped the announcement of the election results, even though the voting was peaceful and orderly. And then on June 16, without my knowledge or prior approval, NEC chairman Professor Nwosu announced the suspension of the June 12 election results until further notice. I knew instantly that certain fifth columnists were at work and that there was a need for extra care, and even after that suspension of the announcement of results, ABN obtained another strange court order from Justice Saleh's court in Abuja stopping the release of the results of the elections, he wrote. On June 23, Babangida left Abuja. Please, this is all we can take for now on this. Ensure you subscribe to our channel and share this report across all news platforms, and bye for now. According to Babangida in all of this, okay, let's just look at the last paragraph here. Yes, during the stalemate that followed the termination of the results announcement, the possibility of annulment that could lead to fresh elections was loosely broached in passing, but annulment was only a component of a series of other options. But to suddenly have an announcement made without maturity was, to put it mildly, alarming. I remember saying these nefarious inside forces opposed to the elections have outflanked me. I would later find out that the forces led by General Sani Abacha annulled the elections. There and then I knew I was caught between a devil and the deep blue sea. From then on, the June 12 elections took on a painful twist for which, as I will show later, I regrettably take responsibility. Okay, according to General Babangida, he says he take responsibility of what happens in June 12 election annulment. That is, MK Abiola won the election, but he was oppressed. All right, thanks so much for listening. Bye for now. Do join us in the dance, okay?